Hey, welcome to the Bruce Gold Show. I am so excited to introduce you to a multi-talented singer-songwriter who won the Country Music Association's Artist of the Month and Female Vocalist of the Year from the Texas Regional Radio Music Association. Her first album featured 7 original songs that she penned herself, and her love of writing extends to the literary world as well. She had her very first story published at the age of 8 by Random House, and her latest book, Terror is Our Business, is a collaboration with the multi-award-winning author Joe R. Landsdale, who just happens to be her father. Let's welcome the lovely Kasey Landsdale.
Hey,
Kasey.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. You look so great. Thanks for dressing up and everything.
I took a bath and I used soap. I went all out. That's right.
Kasey.
I know. That's how I am.
You're truly a multi-talented performer, because I know that you come from a musical family and a family that also has award-winning writers in it, and you've managed to pursue both paths kind of simultaneously. But you got your start working with a Grammy-winning producer on your very first album. Tell us about that.
Yeah, you know, for better or worse, I'm sure my parents would have preferred I was a doctor or a lawyer, but, you know, joke's on them. So my uncle used to record at Sun Records. He's 17 years older than my father, so he was there when Johnny Cash was there. I mean, all of the greats that were at Sun Records he knew, except he was less successful when he was there. Right. And, of course, my father, as you said, is an author. He's written so many things I can't even begin to count. And I don't know, just being creative sort of was in the genes, you know. Right. And I love to sing. I've loved to sing ever since I can remember. But you got to have material to sing. So I started writing my own songs, and that sort of, you know, segued into writing stories, and here we are.
Now, I know your first album, Restless, there's a track on there. A lot of your music has been featured on in films and on television shows, and we have a cut from your very first album, Restless, that we're going to take a listen to right now. Do you want to set that up for us?
Yeah, Restless is my first album. I was lucky enough to record with John Carter Cash, and I wrote 7 of the songs on there, and it was just my new project. I was very proud of it. I got to go into the Cash cabin, and I remember when I first got there, the microphone was a little low, and I said, "Hey, John, can you bring up the mic?" They said, "Oh, sorry, Loretta was in here earlier."
Wow.
And I thought, you know what, if it's good enough for Loretta, it's good enough for me. I'll just squat. It's fine. I'll make it work, you know, and I'm like doing this whole thing.
Right.
So it was great, and it was good to put all of the songs that I've been working on for a long time in one collection. And Sorry Ain't Enough was the single we released.
Right.
And I did a national radio tour, and I got to cover 28 states and do a music video, and that's what you're going to see here.
Wow, let's take a look at it right now.
Well, looky here what the cat drug in. I heard you might have lost your new girlfriend. Then knock, 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 guess who's at my door? Now you're talking like you've lost your mind, standing here handing me the same old lines. How you wanna go back to what we had before? Say there's nothing that you won't do to prove your love. Well, why don't you try begging, try pleading, try getting down on your knees and bawling and a squalling and a crawling back. It's gonna take a whole lot more than love. You're lying, you're crying, what you selling, boy, I ain't buying. You think a few little tears and a baby I was wrong is gonna win back my love. Well, you're sorry, but sorry ain't enough. Are those flowers really meant for me? You brought a teddy bear, I guess you think that's sweet. Tell me, boy, how dumb do you think I am? Does this look like a swinging door? Your little key don't fit no more. I think it's time you find a better plan. Start by telling me how much it hurts to not have me, and when that don't work, try begging, try pleading, try getting down on your knees and bawling and a squalling and a crawling back. It's gonna take a whole lot more than love. You're lying, you're crying, what you selling, boy, I ain't buying. You think a few little tears and a baby I was wrong is gonna win back my love. You're sorry, but sorry ain't enough.
So I think when people watch that, they probably certain artists come to mind as they listen to you sing. So who are your influences?
Well, definitely Reba. I mean, Reba is my all-time sentimental favorite, and I grew up listening to all kinds of country music, the older style, of course, my generation of the 90s, but my mother listened to people like the Ramones and Janis Joplin, so I sort of had that mishmash of musical interests, and the Motown, the 50s, the 60s, Otis Redding, Aretha Franklin, Sam Cooke, all people that influenced me musically, and then I sort of put all of those styles together, and now I call it country blues.
Oh, wow. Wow. Now, I also have your second album right here, and just tell us a little bit about that.
So this is called Living in the Moment, and this song, Living in the Moment, was actually featured on the Finding Bigfoot show.
What?
So, as one does, yes. And it was actually a lot of fun because the whole cast and crew came to me in Nashville while I was recording at the cabin.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, we'd obviously arranged it, but it was still such a neat thing for them to come in the middle, you know, basically knock on the door, hear me sing, and say, hey, do you want to come out in the woods and hunt for Bigfoot? And I said, well, I'm a Lansdale, so sure.
Sure, yeah,
So
why not?
we did.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't want to ruin the episode, but, you know, we may or may not have found him. So I won't give that away, but I was singing Living in the Moment out in the woods. You know, I really wanted Bigfoot to be present and just be zen.
Well, if that doesn't lure him out, nothing will.
You know what, and that's, again, I don't want to ruin it, but basically, if you can't come out to Living in the Moment, then you're just not going to come out. And I will say that was their last season, so coincidence?
Coincidence?
I don't know.
Now, I know you've mentioned the Cash Cabin a couple times, and just for people who don't know, just tell them a little bit about that.
Yeah, the Cash Cabin, it's outside of Nashville. It's Hendersonville, and that's where Johnny Cash did all of his recordings, especially his last recording. That famous video, Hurt, where he covered that Nine Inch Nails songs, that's recorded there. Wow. So many great works are there. And actually, one time I was recording there, and the engineer, he said, come here, look at this. And he took me around, and there's this vault. And inside of this vault are recordings for just shelves and shelves and shelves that have never been released of Johnny and June recordings. And actually 2 years ago, I think it was, John Carter put out a new album of unreleased Johnny Cash songs, and it went #1. And I can tell you there's enough in that vault that's going to be, all of our great-great-grandchildren will still be getting new music from them.
Amazing. Like a treasure chest.
It was breath, and you walk in and it's got that old library smell, you know, and I was just like, this is where I should be, but also don't touch anything. Yeah, right. It was because, you know, I don't want to be the one that goes in and knocks down the whole row, and that would totally be what I would do. Right.
Now, as an author of fiction, what is the connection between country music and then being an author of fiction?
Well, singing has always been my first love, but you have to have material to sing. So I started doing songwriting, and of course, as I said, I grew up in a literary household. And so when I was 8, my father, myself, and my brother, we all wrote this story together. And it was kind of my brother and I hockey pucked the idea back and forth, and my dad typed it up. And that was sort of the beginning of the fiction side, and I dabbled here and there. But when you write songs, you have to tell that story in 3 minutes. So when I switched over to fiction, it was kind of nice because I kind of got to work with that song and turn that into a real lengthy story. So to go from tell everything in 3 minutes, you know, top to bottom, to okay, now you've got 5,000 words. Right. That was a real nice transition for me, and I love them both, but differently.
Yeah, and I know you've had a lot of your work published by major houses, the short stories and the novellas. And then your new book that you wrote with your dad here is Terror is Our Business. It's the Dana Roberts Casebook of Horrors. Ooh, spooky. And I know that there's a female protagonist in the story, and tell us a little bit about her.
Right, so the character that I created, her name is Jana, and my father had a character named Dana, and we didn't know they were going to cross universes, or we would have named them better. And so that's how you know it was unplanned, because otherwise it would be like Betty and Sue, you know, something very juxtaposition. But you know, it's never that way, and I like to think that's sort of the spontaneity of the whole work. But he had created this character, written several stories about her. I had another character, Jana, who was working her way through some other projects, and we kind of got to talking and thought, how would it be if we cross universes with these characters? And it worked, and people really responded well, and we've, you know, luckily we've got some film interest, some comic book interest, and doesn't mean anything will happen, but it's good to know that you put that time and energy in, and people are responding. Yeah, and a lot of people are really connecting with the book, and you've been doing some book signings. We're going to put up the information on where you can find Kasey, and if you want to find her online, it's at KaseyLansdale.com.
And before we go, tell me, are we going to see the characters from this book again?
Yeah, you know, my father and I are playing around with writing a full-length novel, and definitely if some of the other works that I told you about, the film and the comic, get made, then I think you'll see them. And you know, we can only hope so, because I think they've got more stories to tell.
Well, I know we're going to see a lot more from you, both as a singer-songwriter and as an author, and I'm delighted that you were here on the Bruce Gold Show today, classing up the joint. Oh my gosh, take a look. We will be back after this, and thanks for joining us on the Bruce Gold Show.
Hi, my name is Tom Julian, the author of The Shepherd. You know, there's hundreds of thousands of people who have felt like the title character of The Shepherd, Tony Castanelli. Alone, no family to count on, friends are becoming few and far between. But God has a way of looking down on those lonely hearts and somehow in His own beautiful way bring people into our lives who can help us find the direction and purpose that we all need and the happiness we all desire. This is that story. It's a simple read, but it's an inspiring moment. Buy yours today.
My favorite 30 minutes of every day is starting with my sauna. For a stressful day, this is probably one of the best things you could ever get. An amazing platform for natural healing. Oftentimes when people do the weight loss programs, they start feeling like a little yucky during it. If you create or use the infrared sauna, for instance, and you're detoxing along with the weight loss, you won't feel yucky, the weight will start peeling off. If you want to learn more about infrared technology, contact us directly. The information is on the bottom of the screen.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lee Aaron Keneally, and I have some exciting news to tell you. I have launched my book, The Cancer Revolution. Do you know that cancer takes 10 years to develop in your body? That means you have 10 years of opportunity to prevent and reverse early cancer. The Cancer Revolution. It will empower you to change your life and turn this disease around.
Being healthy and happy isn't always easy. Stress at home, at work, trouble sleeping, toxins in the environment. Even healthy foods can be lacking vital micronutrients due to chemicals and depleted soil. American Nutraceuticals' proven solutions can help detoxify, reduce stress, and guide the way to optimum health. Balance, restore, rejuvenate naturally with American Nutraceuticals. Available from leading healthcare professionals and at 888vitality.com.
Patients ask me every single day about water. But water from your tap? Let's get real. Please, please take care of yourself, save yourself by getting Echo. This machine will put in the activated hydrogen molecule that stimulates the anaerobic organisms that we now know has everything to do with your life. Do yourself a favor, get good clean water powered with Echo.
The Hollywood Reporter called my next guest a comic ball of fire, and his brand of clean humor has earned him standing ovations and a nomination as Corporate Comedian of the Year. He won 3 Telly Awards for his latest comedy special, and he has what has to be one of the toughest jobs in Hollywood as one of the top audience warm-up performers for some of your favorite sitcoms. Let's welcome Ron Pearson.
Way too long of an intro. That bored even me.
Did you?
I'm like, yeah, okay.
Well, you know, you've done
All right.
stuff, you've won stuff. Come on, we want the people to know.
Well.
So, you know, I said it's one of the hardest jobs in Hollywood, but people come in.
You've done one up.
Yes.
It is hard.
You know what? It's a lot of fun until maybe it's the 3rd or 4th hour, and then you really have. It's a challenge to keep people engaged and keep the attention, and then throughout your performance, they're going to cut back into the show, and then back to you, and back into the show.
So let's explain to everybody really what that is. You watch a 23-minute sitcom on TV, and doesn't take 23 minutes to film. It can take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours.
Wow.
To get those 23 minutes. So who's doing the rest of the time? Me or you if you when you did it, you know, and it's just a lot of work. You're like the utility player of comedy. You're the ultra marathoner. Like how many comedy, you know, a normal TV set is 4 minutes now. As a comedy stand-up set.
That's right. Yeah.
4.5 minutes. And you're doing hours and hours and hours of material. Most people can't pull it off. And could you imagine sitting watching something for, you know, just an average night? Last 2 nights ago, on Tuesday night, I did a show for CBS, 6-hour taping.
Wow.
If you went to the movie theater, you could see 3.5 movies. Right? How bored? I get bored with myself
But
over
they
that
get to
time.
see Ron Pearson.
Yeah, I can't sit with myself in a room for that long. I don't know how those people do it.
No, you keep it super funny, you keep it super engaging, and you're really known for your brand of clean humor. And I know that you have a show called The Apostles of Comedy. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, we toured for years, put out a couple of DVDs with my buddies, doing churches, theaters, and comedy clubs. But all of us are clean, and we all, so much fun. So much fun, really good. The church crowd is also a whole different ball of wax than a nightclub crowd. They're really excited. They have so much energy. You can take them places that you can't take a comedy club group to, you know. So.
Yeah, and not only are you known for your humor, you're also known as a highly skilled juggler, and you kind of work that in as well.
Yeah, which I was talking with some other magicians today here.
What? No.
Yes, and we were just talking about the difference between juggling, because I worked for years to show off my skill. I show it. Magicians work for years to hide their skill.
That's
like,
right.
Let's hide the skill.
That's right.
And
yeah.
and I'm showing it off. Look what I can do. And you're like, I hope nobody sees what I do.
Because, you know, there's a saying that, you know, the job of an artist is to make the invisible visible, but the job of a magician, especially with sleight of hand, is to make the visible invisible. So when we are doing our thing, you should be completely unaware that anything is going on.
Right.
But you have a routine. Do you want to set it up for us?
Okay, well, I'm married with kids. And really in life, no one tells you about that till you actually get there.
A normal kid, you go, you want to do that? They go, no, I don't want to, you know? But a 3-year-old, he's going to sell it. He's like, I don't want to! Go to bed, Daddy! Wouldn't it be great if we as adults could let out a big, I don't want to! Wouldn't that be awesome? When you left to let a big I don't want to rip there, pal? Huh? Look at this. You married, son? You married there?
Yeah.
Yeah, how long you been married?
4 months.
4 months? Oh, no wonder he's like a deer in the headlights. Like, You're gonna have to learn. Look at this man, he's got steel in his eyes. This man right here, he's lived it. He knows how to say, I don't wanna! He knows it. You have to learn. It's gotta come from the inside out. You follow me, son?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Look at me. This is the most important thing you're gonna learn. Next week, your wife's gonna say, honey, let's go down to the mall and we'll buy us matching sweater vests. Then we'll go home and I'll give us matching pedicures. What are you gonna tell her?
I don't want to.
He said it. There was no conviction. There was no conviction. I guarantee you, she's got conviction. Look at her. Look at her. In 2 months when he goes, honey, it's November. It's the beginning of deer season. Let's put on our camo outfits and go sit in 30-degree weather in a deer blind in absolute silence for 2 days. What are you going to tell him?
We're actually already doing that.
Pardon? She really doing it? Come here! Turn around. Men, he won.
One time, one world, 2 times, 1 love, 3 times, rewind.
Now, I know you also are one of the really top sought-after guys in the corporate entertainment market for corporations who are going to have, you know, conferences and meetings, and they've been learning about the product, or it's in a big, long award show that stretches on, and then you come out and you kind of hammer them with comedy. So what are the expectations like in that marketplace?
Well, the pay is phenomenal, so expectations are
Take a note.
high.
Take a note.
But expectations are high for that
they're very
reason,
high,
you know.
right?
And you're really put into some interesting situations, you know. Sometimes you got other acts around you. I did one show with Jim Belushi and Joe Walsh, and each of us was trying to top the next act, so everybody's just giving it all their go. Same thing, one show with, you know, just, it depends on who's on the bill. Sometimes, though, they have all these expectations, and they're not in show business, so they don't set the show up right. Have you ever had that gig?
Literally, it's like, hey, we were thinking maybe you could make the president levitate in the air over here.
Right.
And I'm like, it's 5 minutes to showtime. I mean, I appreciate they really think I'm that good.
I get the show for American Cancer Society out on Catalina Island. And so I say to my manager, you know, make sure, because it's an island, we can't get gear last minute. So make sure there's good stage, good lighting, good sound system. He goes, got it covered for you, Ron. I get there. The stage is a field. The microphone is a bullhorn with a little phone cord to this.
The juggler.
Yes. And then my friend who's opening for me, he goes, where's our spotlight? I go, I think it's going to go down in about 15 minutes. So by the time I got on, it was pitch black. I had people coming up around me with lighters and stuff. Which is, why would people from the Cancer Society have lighters? I never really thought about that.
Interesting.
But they would do it, and we just mocked the whole situation. I did another one for Pepsi one time. They go, hey, we got this great gig. We want you to come up and entertain. We're going to do a dinner train up to the winery, have your show, train back. I go, great. So I get to the train to take it up, and I say, hey, what's the stage like at the winery? They go, what are you talking about? I go, you have a stage set up for me? And they go, no, you're performing on the train. I go, you know, I juggle. They go, you're in the dome car. The dome car's 6 feet high. I'm 6'3". I'm like this. And remember, it's only one person per seat, but half the people are facing away from you.
That's right.
Like, can you imagine doing your act? Okay, go ahead. Bruce, do your show. Like, I don't know how they think these things through.
Performing in a hallway, basically, right? And they're all down to the end.
Yes. No, I just mocked it.
It's funny that you say that, because our studio is so voluminous.
I like the way you put that advertising money right back into your space. Way to go, Bruce.
So we're saving up for a new roof, but you brought juggling clubs with you.
I did.
I have an expectation that you're going to do something with those.
How do you not bring these?
Are you just showing those as tools of the trade?
Well, yes.
Okay.
A bouquet. No. Let me see if I can do this here. This is hard.
Oh my God.
This is really hard with all these.
Do you want to
these
scoot
really
that seat forward or
expensive
something?
Home Depot lights you have up here? Between that and the spacing. And
the whole thing runs on Duracell batteries.
you could do this show in Japan. People would come in and go, you have such a huge studio.
Well, yeah.
Here we go. Let me see if I can make this work.
Okay, gosh.
This is hard sitting down. This is really hard.
We've never
You know how
shown
many
the
years-
ceiling of the studio. Okay, go
You know how
ahead.
many years of my life I wasted putting in to learn stupid things like this?
And finally, they're paying off for me.
We'll see. We'll see. Hold on. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Now, it's
Oh,
going to be
wow.
hard seated,
Wow.
but I'm going to give it a try.
That is some precision juggling, ladies and gentlemen, from Ron Pearson.
I'd like to thank Jay Leno for teaching me how to do that. He doesn't even bounce it, he just sets it down. By the way, does anybody want some gum? Gum? Anyone? Bueller? No?
Hey, thanks so much for being on the show.
Love you, Bruce.
Hey, thank you, pal. We have had a great time on the Bruce Gold Show. Thank you so much for joining us, and you'll find us always on the JUL-TV network. Thanks for being here. Thank you.